Hello, everyone. So, today I want to discuss how more and more light is being poured onto the planet. And as this happens, a lot of people's traumas are going to be bubbling up to the surface. How does this manifest exactly? Well, people will start to project their stuff onto you. In my last video, I said they're going to copy their issues and paste them onto you. So it's kind of like a transference, if you will, of darkness. The stuff that I don't want to deal with, it's easier for me to point the finger at you because then it's like setting a fire and it keeps the eyes off of me. All right. So some people set fires everywhere and then they're in the clear because no one's paying attention to them. That's kind of what we do when we displace our energies onto others. So you're going to notice that there's not only an acceleration in your psychic ability because so many portals have activated, so many stargates have activated that are really enabling you to sharpen your psychic abilities and to increase your awareness as a whole. So many people are going to be throwing their dirt on you. This is part of the process. So the vision I received today is that, in this world, there are always going to be people who hate you, who dislike you, who can't stand you, right? What's that saying? Haters gonna hate, right? That's a true statement. Haters gonna hate unless they have a change of heart, unless they have an awakening, unless they have some sort of a rebirth or their spirit wakes them up. Haters gonna hate. So here's the thing. You cannot please everyone in this world. As long as you know where you stand with God, with Source, with the universe, that is all that counts. And what I was being shown today is that the people who dislike you, they've already made up their mind about you. You have to understand this. It's very difficult to see someone for who they are through a clear lens when you're wearing 3D goggles, the one that have the red, the old school one, the red and the blue. They can't see you. They're seeing you through a filter. Now, I've already done a video on empathy to telepathy, but I do like to tie everything in together. I love that, to kind of brush on a subject and then leave it and come back to it. Every single one of you watching this right now, you've always been telepathic. You've always been psychic. But what happened along the way is you started doubting yourself when people didn't like you. And then what you did was try to get them to like you. And by virtue of doing so, you only contaminated yourself more. I did this too. We've all done this. There's someone that doesn't like us. We can hear, right? We can hear that they're talking about us. And instead of going, I see you, and I mean that spiritually, like I see you and I see what you're doing and it's not okay because you're judging me, we will then suck up to them and try to get them to like us. This is a huge no-no. I'm just letting you know that this is a huge no-no because you will never, ever win a person over that's already made up their mind about you. Ever. They're seeing you through a distorted lens. All right, think of a windshield that's frosted up, like there's frost all over the windshield. Well, they would have to defrost that windshield to see you. And how can you defrost your windshield? By opening up your heart. By seeing everyone as a piece of the puzzle, by seeing everyone as an aspect of God or Source. Everyone. Some people may not rub you the right way, and that's okay. Maybe they're saying something, maybe the tone of their voice is like nails on a chalkboard for you. Maybe I do that for some of you. But the thing is, don't keep coming back then, you see? Because if there's something you're not resonating with or harmonizing with, then it's important to listen to your spirit and step away for a while. Or the other option is to stay there and observe it and then clear your own judgment. So as you observe this person, go, okay, they're triggering me right now. And I have to recognize that this is some sort of a backlog that's being activated, stuff that I've been shoving down, stuff that's unfinished within me that is now coming to the surface to be addressed and released. So the guides are always showing me you don't have to leave a situation particularly, but you have to approach it with maturity. So you either walk away from it because it's not resonating, right? It's like that game we used to play with our parents. You're getting warmer, you're getting colder. Move away from what feels cold. You're in the wrong location. Move away from what feels cold. You're in the wrong location. So for me, I live my life where if something doesn't resonate with me, I will walk away. I will honor where I feel what I feel in that moment. I'm like, all right, this isn't good. Maybe we can revisit it at a later date. But right now, I'm not resonating with this. So that's self-honor, because I'm not going to make myself suffer when I can really just move away from what doesn't feel good and keep in training with a higher frequency of love, of acceptance, of what really gels with my energy. Now, obviously, triggers are unavoidable. You're going to get triggered throughout your day. There are things that will happen to you where the universe will throw you a curveball, and then it's up to you to address that. But you don't need to put yourself in that ring of fire, or you don't need to put yourself in that suffering in order to grow. But again, you can if you want to. I spent years observing myself and what I was feeling through the reflection of what other people were offering me, because we are all mirror reflections of one another, every single one of us. And until we realize this, it's going to be very difficult for us to ascend into a higher state of being. It's acknowledging and recognizing that everyone, even if they seem like the polar opposite of who you are, everyone is an aspect of you. Source is incarnate through all of our bodies. We are an aspect of Source, and we mirror back to each other what we still need to work on. That's just basic spirituality. So if you hold anger in your heart, you will keep attracting traffic, because then the universe is going to test you to see. It's not even a test. The universe is going to afford you or grant you an opportunity to clear that trauma. And again, these traumas, they date back many lifetimes in a linear sense, right? Because we're quantum beings, there is no time. But in a linear sense, they date back lifetimes ago. So if you point the finger at someone else, it really has nothing to do with them, even though they might carry a similar signature as the event that happened to you that caused you to be traumatized. They carry a similar signature as the event that played out that caused you to be traumatized. So in that moment, they've been placed in your life. It's almost like they've been inserted into the fold to be your catalyst, to mirror back to you what you need to address that's been there for a long time. All right? They're like files that you tucked away somewhere in a drawer, and you're like, I don't want to look at this. But the thing is, we can't really do that because that's spiritual bypassing. We have to look at everything. We have to. Otherwise, it's going to rear its ugly head. That's just how it works. That's karma. But with karma comes dharma. So if you're able to clear your karma, you're moving into dharma. So karma is not an enemy. Karma is not here to punish you. Karma is here to inform you. Karma is here to educate you on what it is that you've been shoving aside or sweeping under the rug that you haven't wanted to face, that you now have to face because there's no other way. I've been getting these downloads that even if you become Dalai Lama in this lifetime, you're enlightened at an individual level, but that doesn't mean that there isn't all of this still going on within the collective. You feel me? There's still a lot of stuff going on. It's like being in a cubicle in an office. You can have Buddhas and flowers and sparklies everywhere in your cubicle and make it look like heaven on earth, but there's still noise going on in the office. There's still stuff going on in the office. So there's your individual ascension process, and then there's the collective ascension process. And a lot of starseeds are here right now because even though they might have ascended at a singular level, individually, personally, they're back because there's a collective effort. We're all ascending as a one. So no one is better than another. All right? We're all in this together. It's a collective effort. Now, that doesn't mean you'll come back every lifetime. You get to choose. You get to choose. It wasn't always that way before 2012. We didn't always get to choose. but a lot of the karmic contracts were terminated in 2012 and a new paradigm was installed. And now when you leave, you might decide not to return for 300 years, 400 years and go somewhere else. But planet Earth is a hotspot right now. It's a very desired location. It's on demand. Okay, it's like videos on demand. It's on demand right now. There's a high demand to be here because it's a living library and there's so much information all around. Every being that's walking this earth has different extraterrestrial or different star race genetic material. So you can learn about every star system by being incarnate at this time, just by observing people, by observing yourself through them, by feeling the wind on your face, by communicating with the birds, by letting the birds that are chirping away activate your third eye. Like there's so much information all around us, all around us. So that's why it's a very hot place to be right now. All right. There are starships everywhere. There's spaceships everywhere, UFOs. Like there's a lot going on this planet and a lot of shifts happening very rapidly. So to get to my point, I want to say that there will always be people who don't like you in this world. All right. That is something that you cannot try to change. You can't change it. And the thing is, your spirit, the vision I was getting today is your spirit is like a firewall on a computer. And it is omniscient. Omniscient means it is all-knowing. It knows everything. Your spirit is also omnipotent. So your spirit recognizes different people's signatures. It recognizes signatures at large. It doesn't have to be a person. It's an energy signature. And if that person is causing harm, if they're trying to wreak havoc on your world, if they're still judging you, criticizing you, or they're having negative thoughts about you, your spirit will not let them in. Because your spirit is a firewall. It doesn't matter how many attempts they make, your spirit won't let them in. Does that make you an a-hole? No. You see, here's the thing. When someone has decided that they don't like you, they're going to perceive you as being in your ego if you're not letting them in spiritually, right? This is all spiritual, telepathic, energetic, psychic. If you're psychically blocking them, meaning your spirit is looking out for you, your spirit has your back, your spirit is your bodyguard, they will perceive you as being in the ego. Always. But are you in your ego? No. That's your spirit protecting you. That's your spirit's alarm system going off and saying, this person again is judging you. And now they're trying to enter through the back door. And I guess we're just going to have to go over there and give them the boot. And as soon as they think they've entered, they're disillusioned because the truth is they haven't entered. Your spirit is everywhere. It knows what's going on. I know that there are a lot of people who don't like me. I know that the majority of people that are with me are really kind. So I love everyone who's on this journey with me, including the people who don't like me. I love them. But here's the thing. Your spirit is pure love. It's pure love. Think of the spirit as being directly linked to the 5D. The 5D is a place of purity. 5D New Earth is a place of respect. It's a place of honor. It's a place of consideration, of support. There is no judgment that is held in 5D. So I have always heard things or seen things with my third eye. I didn't have to be in the room. My ears would start ringing. Oh, they're talking about me. I don't have to be in a room. That's the thing. None of us have to be in a room. And I want to say this. The main purpose of this video is to let you know that you are psychic. Never doubt your abilities. Ever. Because then you go down a rabbit hole when you start to question yourself and then you try to win that person over. You keep disempowering yourself. You keep turning your power over to another person. So not everyone is going to like you. Your spirit is like a doorman at the club. That was the other vision I was getting. That was so funny. Your spirit is like a doorman at the club, and that person's already been banned from the club. All right? They've already been banned from the club. Can't get in, right? There's a hip hop song where they say you can't get in. But you can't get in though. That's something like that. Anyways, they've already been banned. So your spirit is like the doorman that's like, what are you doing here again? Nope, sorry, you can't get in. That's how it works. Now, what's going to happen to that person is because they're still judging you, they're depriving themselves of access to love. Because they carry venom in their hearts, they're poisoning themselves, not you, because your spirit's got you. I'm sharing this because I know that a lot of starseeds and wayshowers and mediums and empaths and psychics are stepping onto the scene and offering your services now. I feel this. I know that this is happening. This is your calling. So if that is your divine purpose, if that was the divine plan that you architected before you came into this reality, that requires us to have very thick skin. You know, in the beginning, you answer a couple people, you don't know, you only have a couple clients. And then when you're not able to answer people anymore, you're like, wow, this person just got nasty. It's important to not to be afraid to expose more and more truth. All right. I'm big on boundaries with my business. So if you're new to giving readings and you're like, you let clients text you, that's a big no-no. You're setting yourself up. And in a year from now, there's going to be a big squabble between you guys. Because they're like, oh my God, you're not letting me text you anymore. What happened to you? Be careful with what you let in. Because I'll tell you something. Unless you are in your bubble with God, and there's no one in that bubble, it's just you and your universe. It's just you and God. Or you could think of as God as the bubble, and you're in that bubble, and it's only you in there. That's the only way you can really activate your observational technology and really see what's going on. If you're always there for people all the time, you'll never know if they're taking advantage of you. So I'm not sharing this so that you become mean to people. That's not what it's about. But I'm saying be willing to debunk your reality. Be willing to see what's been looming over you that you haven't been able to vision into. You have spiritual vision. Can you see what's going on? That's why for me, I'm always in my truth, because my truth allows me to see where people are coming from. And the second that I make an agreement that I shake hands with lack, I'm in trouble. I just did that to myself. I've just entangled myself with another person through inauthenticity, and that's going to backfire. There's going to be blowback. I've been in that situation thousands of times, but you learn how to hold your own. You learn how to live in your truth no matter what. And you also recognize that when you're afraid to speak your truth, it means that you're under an enslavement contract with some being or entity that owns you or governs you. Nothing really governs you, okay? I'm just using this metaphorically, but there are energies that can be governing you and you're under them, which is why you're afraid to say no to people. So just be aware. For me, I always check in. What's going on? Oh, it feels clear. Cool. We're good. If ever I feel like a speed bump, there's like, boop, oh, there's something. I always think of it as like a heart defibrillator, like in the hospital, boop, and I feel a little blockage. It's not necessarily my block. It's my psychic antenna picking up on information about my Akashic record, about what to do or what not to do. So it's not always a block. Sometimes you're just receiving intel. You're receiving intel. All right, maybe this means I used to have a contract with an entity that I was afraid to stand up to, and now that person is like a mirror reflection of that same entity, meaning going back to the beginning of the video, I said that some people would carry a signature that is reminiscent of a trauma that was lodged in you. So in that moment, I'll be like, why am I afraid to say no to that person? Oh, there's an entity looming over me or attached to me, and I need to just sever that cord. But there will always be people who dislike you, and you need to be okay with that, because you're not here to be a people pleaser. You're not here to cater to everyone's needs. You're here to align with God, with Source, with your universe, and then live your purpose. And I'm telling you something, when you're aligned to your purpose, you are full of energy. You're constantly creating more and more and more. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to take a step back and recharge sometimes, recharge your spiritual batteries. But for the most part, you'll wake up with so much gratitude in your heart to have another day. And you'll wake up with such a vitality about you, where you're like, I'm ready to take this day on. I'm ready. I'm ready to be of service to people, because that's what we're doing as light workers. We're of service to people. But here's the thing. The people who perceive you to be in your ego will think that you are of service to self, which isn't true. You're of service to higher self, meaning you listen to your guides, you listen to your angels, you listen to God or Source, whatever your higher power is. Words don't really matter. It's whatever is comfortable for you, whatever you like to have as an experience on planet Earth, because we're here to play. In many ways, we're all like actors on a stage. And some people like to communicate with ETs, and some people have a different expression where they are channelers, or, it varies. We all have different things that we connect with, and it's all part of our expression here on Earth. And we all have different physical bodies, so we all source information differently. Some people do it through clairvoyance. Some people do it through clairaudience. Some people don't think of themselves as having a higher self, and yet they're more spiritual than everyone else. Like, everyone has a different expression. All right, that's how Source is able to gather and assemble more data, because Source is experiencing itself through all of us. That's why we are all an aspect of Source. So when we hate each other, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're doing ourselves a disservice. It's not hurting the person that you're hating. What it is that the bouncer isn't letting you in. And the bouncer is saying, the bouncer being the spirit, the bouncer is saying, hey, come correct, check yourself, open up your heart, and then you'll realize that there is no bouncer. Come correct, and then you'll realize there is no spirit at the door. 5D is a place of unity. But the thing is, if you come and you try to enter with separation, meaning judgment, you're not welcome. That's how it works. That's how it works for me too. When I get dirty in my aura, I can feel like I've fallen off the wagon. So my guides are like, all right, Phil, go do your breath work, go meditate, go for your walk, have a God day. I call it my God day, and connect with nature and get back in your zone, in that spirit zone. Get back in that spirit zone. So there is no door in 5D from one perspective. From another perspective, there's a very specific password to get to 5D. But that password is LOVE in the number, whatever that is, 7, whatever, it's LOVE. If you come from a place of separation and judgment, you're not welcome. That's how it works. As soon as you remove these 3D goggles that you have on, the red and the blue, that are skewing your vision, that are clogging up the view, then you'll see that person for who they are. And you'll understand that even though you don't like them as a person, you can still appreciate them for having triggered you, because that trigger was an opportunity to heal yourself. That trigger was an opportunity for you to heal yourself. So I may not like you, but I love you. I may not like you but I love you for having shown me that I'm still judging myself. And the judgments I have towards myself, I was trying to displace onto you. That doesn't mean we're going to hang out. I want to be really clear. I'm still going to have my bottle section in the VIP, in the party, in the club. So and you might still not be able to get in. I'm just saying, and I'm just being funny. I'm just saying that, like, we may not hang out. We may never get along. But the thing is, I still love you because you triggered something in me that I needed to address. And that's what I want to share today. You're not here to please people. You're not here to win people over. Some people will always dislike you. And until they're willing to see that they're just carrying that venom that's then being reflected back to them, they'll never see you. They will never see you for who you are. It's about opening up our hearts again. All right? It's not about killing the ego. I hear that in the spiritual community a lot. I wouldn't be speaking right now if I didn't have an ego. My name wouldn't be Phil if I didn't have an ego. I have a driver's license. It says Phil. We have an ego. We will always have an ego. So I don't want everything in this world to become sterile, like no one has a personality anymore. Enjoy your personality. Mine changes all the time, and I embrace it, because in 2 months from now, no one's really going to see this video, or maybe they will, but it doesn't matter. This is how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling chipper. It's like I'm just being expressive. The ego is not to be killed. The ego is to be integrated. The ego is like a dog that was constantly barking and causing you to get mad when all it really wanted was love, and it wanted to be trained. It wanted to be reconditioned. Your ego has to be domesticated like a dog. Hey, I get that you're frustrated and you're wanting to judge this person right now. That's how you're speaking to it. You're like a parent. You're parenting your ego. I get that you want to go there, but we don't have to do that. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what's coming up in you right now that we can heal together. I'm here for you. I love you. This is a safe space. We don't have to go out there anymore. Out there is just a setup. It's a trap. If you go judge someone, you're going to remain in your loop. That's how it works. When you judge other people, you go unconscious. When you check yourself and you bring consciousness to what you're feeling and what's being triggered in you, then you are awake. But there's no pointing fingers here. The ego is going to try to get you to point a finger, or it's going to point a finger. Your ego is not the enemy, though. Your ego is begging you for love. That's why we have to really build that thick skin and say, what do you need? I'm here for you. I've got you. I want to heal with you because you're a part of me and you will always be a part of me. Your ego isn't there to harm you. We harm people because we take the bait. The ego gets reactive and we're like, screw you. No, the ego was saying, I'm not feeling safe. And every time you say screw you, or you get mad at someone, or you judge someone, you're letting your ego know that it isn't safe within you. All right? Imagine if you were a parent and your child just wanted to be held. And every time your child wanted to be held, you would abandon it and you'd go to the grocery store. That's what we've done to the ego. Every time it notified us that it needed love, we would get reactive and abandon it. We would go outside instead of going inside. We go outside instead of going inside. You get the gist? So some people, the way that life is designed is that they're not going to like you. And there's a reason for that. That serves a purpose. What's the purpose? So that you can stop trying to get people's approval. That's the purpose. So that instead of going outside and trying to get them to like you, you can give love to the ego self, to that aspect of yourself that is needing you to validate it, to say you are enough, you are beautiful, you are amazing, you are everything. You is smart. You is important. All right, you get the idea? So it's like, give love to your ego. Imagine that you have a camera on your phone that's pointing outward, and every time you want to go out there and judge whoever, you want to judge me, you want to judge someone else, you want to judge your cousin, you want to judge your sister, flip the camera. Ooh, oh wow, I'm looking at myself now. Oh, okay, what's going on within me? Ooh, okay, let me find it. I'm going to play Dr. Operation. Remember that game, Dr. Operation? I'm going to play Dr. Operation. What's going on inside of me? Because that doesn't exist. That's just a reflection that caused me to flip my phone so I can look at myself. What's going on within me? And I know that lately I've been a little more expressive and animated. It's because this stuff needs to be heard. We need to step it up, you guys. All of us. All right? If someone judges you, if they write a negative comment on your Instagram, on your social media, how do you feel? Do you want to respond? If you're feeling reactive, I would probably say don't do it. Hold off. Maybe hold off forever. Go within. What's going on within you? What's causing you to feel reactive? What caused your button to get pushed? And then you tend to your inner needs. You tend to your ego's needs. Your ego is a little child that just wants your love. It wants to be integrated. All right? When we feel afraid, like this is just another example. When you have fear in your body, there's a difference between acting on the fear and integrating the fear. If you say, oh my God, no money's coming in, I'm going to run out there and find a job now, you're going unconscious. All right? Not necessarily, because it's okay. It's good to take precautionary measures and go find a job. But if it's coming from that urgency and that sense of immediacy, I need to go find a job right now because I'm afraid, that's not the pure and the right motivation. Spend years going within. I was without a job for like 5 years. I spent 3-4 hours in my closet meditating. And I had thoughts telling me, go find a job, go do this, go do it. And I was like, no, that's not my truth. I know these thoughts are really just trying to intrude on my spirit right now. And I need to start being the bouncer at the club. You're not welcome. And I didn't listen to those thoughts. And of course, I had other thoughts bombarding me saying, you're never going to make money. You're never going to make money. But that's where your faith comes in. That's where you say, I believe. I believe beyond the shadow of a doubt that by getting closer to my spirit every day in that closet of mine, that my life will unblock. That the sun will shine again. And it does. So let's not get caught up in the illusion of what's out there. What's out there is real, but you get what I'm saying. From the perspective in which I'm sharing, it's like every time you want to get mad at someone or you want to call someone out and do them harm, you're only setting yourself back. You're only impeding on your evolutionary process. That's all you're doing. So the great paradox of this universe is that darkness will often be light that's perceived as darkness. I call it disguised light. Darkness will often be perceived as darkness when it's actually light. And the same goes for light. You can have someone who's like super nice to you, and then they try to manipulate money out of you. That's actual darkness that's disguised as light. So pay attention. Turn on your discernment. If someone appears to you to be in their ego, maybe question that. Are they in their ego, or is my ego having a reaction right now and I'm wanting to peg them as the bad guy? These are all victim-perpetrator games that we have to log out of. We have to move into unity. And again, it doesn't mean you're going to be best friends with everyone. It just means that you know where you stand. You know that you're following your purpose. You're following your path. You're being true to who you are. And the people you're meant to help are going to gravitate to you. It's like that saying, birds of a feather flock together. You're going to find your tribe. Your tribe will find you. And the other people who are just loud in the back, right? Like, I don't like you. Those people, they're screaming because they're in pain. Because they never got that validation. They might be jealous of you. They might envy you. They might not be part of the in crowd. And so they're getting louder and louder and louder because they're in pain. And they're agonizing over the fact that you're not paying attention to them. It's not that you're not paying attention to them. It's that you're that you would pay attention to them if they came correct. But all of this, no one wants that. That's 3D. You need to go within, either get therapy, either work with a healer to take accountability for how you're feeling. You will never heal if you do not feel. And if you're spewing hate, you could say that's a form of feeling, but it's probably not advancing you in your life. The true work happens within. Okay? Phil or whoever said something that I really didn't like. So what's going on within me? Now, that doesn't mean you come back around. Then you can leave. Cool. I don't like Phil, and I honor that. Right? I'm just giving you guys examples. I don't like Phil, and I'm just honoring that. I'm not going to go back. I'm going to keep sitting with this for as long as I need to until I process it out of my system. You have an operating system, and your operating system, your 3D operating system, has files that are obsolete, that need to be deleted from your system. But those files can be deleted if you keep them alive, if you keep spewing hate, if you keep judging others. They stay there. That's the virus. So my spirit that is the firewall, your spirit that is the firewall, won't let that virus in. It won't let someone else attempt to hack you. It loves you too much. So I hope this message helped you guys, and I know I've been a little cheeky lately, but you know what? It's part of the fun. We're here to play. We're actors on a stage. Take it lightly, but also take yourself seriously. I have fun with this, but I also meditate a lot throughout the day. So it's finding that balance, right? It's a delicate balance, and you have to find it. And don't fall for the light that's actual darkness, meaning you try to suck up to someone who's actually judging you, or you try to win someone over who actually hates you, thinking that that's the right thing to do. And don't fall for the darkness that's light. Some people present themselves in a certain way. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Some people are they're operating within 5D. And they're giving you the gold, but you're not able to see the gold or to catch the light because you're too focused on them being dark. I wish I could repeat that. All right, so I love you guys so much, and I hope that you can subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Share and comment. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. And I will speak with you in another version of the Now.